What's up, guys? This is TRaynard with Conversations with TRaynard. Yes, that's right, TRaynard from the Love and Relationships Experience. Today's show, we're going to talk about how to make a slam dunk impression on your first date. Now, hopefully, you guys had a great weekend. I know I absolutely did. I just flew in yesterday from Hollywood, California. I was there for a red carpet and launch event for a brand new talk show called The Blend. And so I had the opportunity to support Love and Relationships' own naturopathic doctor, Dr. Tabitha Carr, and along with three amazing ladies of that show. So you definitely want to join them on social media. They're at theblendtalk.com. And so with me, as you know, I was born here on the East Coast, born and raised. And so it was nice to actually get out there on the West Coast and see how they lived out there in Cali. Now, Cali is famous for the nice looking women, but real talk, they don't have nothing on the women here in the ATL, right? But it was still good to get out there to actually get to mingle and to, make some good connections. So as I was doing some research for the Love and Relationship Experience, which is happening October 27th here in the ATL, October 28th in Charlotte, go to TRaynard.com for more details. But basically it said 90% of Americans get married. But the divorce rate is 45% after first marriages. And then after each subsequent marriage, then the percentage goes up even higher. So let me tell you something. Divorce ain't nothing nice. The person you marry is definitely not the person you divorce. And especially as a man, we get the short end of the stick. The courts are set up not for us, really, in my opinion, especially if you're wanting to get custody of your children. Unless she's like a crackhead or some type of bad mother, courts feel like, you know what, you should never take a child from their mom. So, for me, like I said, divorce is not something nice. And I remember the first couple of times that I dropped the kids off and they looked back at me, I felt like such a failure for not being able to keep my family together, right? Because they were accustomed to sharing every moment with dad. But now the way that it was, dad was having to drop y'all off and I'll see you, in 2 weeks. So, but anyway, it was a very interesting article. Definitely, for those who are getting into marriage, yeah, the odds are stacked up against you. But it's very important that you establish a solid foundation. So where does that solid foundation start? It starts with the first date. So coming up next, we're going to talk about the first date. Things that you should definitely do, but also things that you should not do, okay? So this is Conversations with TRaynard. We'll be right back. What's up, guys? This is TRaynard with Conversations with TRaynard. Yes, that's right, TRaynard from the Love and Relationships Experience. Today's show, we're going to talk about how to make a slam dunk impression on your first date. Now, hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I know I absolutely did. I just flew in yesterday from Hollywood, California. I was there for a red carpet and launch event for a brand new talk show called The Blend. And so I had the opportunity to support Love and Relationships' own naturopathic doctor, Dr. Tabitha Carr, and along with three amazing ladies of that show. So you definitely want to join them on social media. They're at theblendtalk.com. And so with me, as you know, I was born here on the East Coast, born and raised. And so it was nice to actually get out there on the West Coast and see how they lived out there in Cali. Now, Cali is famous for the nice looking women, but real talk, they don't have nothing on the women here in the ATL, right? But it was still good to get out there to actually get to mingle and to, make some good connections. So as I was doing some research for the Love and Relationship Experience, which is happening October 27th here in the ATL, October 28th in Charlotte, go to TRaynard.com for more details. But basically it said 90% of Americans get married. But the divorce rate is 45% after first marriages. And then after each subsequent marriage, then the percentage goes up even higher. So let me tell you something. Divorce ain't nothing nice. The person you marry is definitely not the person you divorce. And especially as a man, I mean, we get the short end of the stick. The courts are set up not for us, really, in my opinion, especially if you're wanting to get custody of your children. Unless she's like a crackhead or some type of bad mother, courts feel like, you know what, you should never take a child from their mom. So, for me, like I said, divorce is not something nice. And I remember the first couple of times that I dropped the kids off and they looked back at me. I felt like such a failure for not being able to keep my family together, right? Because they were accustomed to sharing every moment with dad. But now the way that it was, dad was having to drop y'all off and I'll see you, in 2 weeks. So, but anyway, it was a very interesting article. Definitely, for those who are getting into marriage, yeah, the odds are stacked up against you. But it's very important that you establish a solid foundation. So where does that solid foundation start? It starts with the first date. So coming up next, we're going to talk about the first date. Things that you should definitely do, but also things that you should not do, okay? So this is Conversations with TRaynard. We'll be right back. What's up, guys? This is TRaynard with Conversations with TRaynard. Yes, that's right. TRaynard from the Love and Relationships Experience. Today's show, we're going to talk about how to make a slam dunk impression on your first date. Now, hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I know I absolutely did. I just flew in yesterday from Hollywood, California. I was there for a red carpet and launch event for a brand new talk show called The Blend. And so I had the opportunity to support Love and Relationships' own naturopathic doctor, Dr. Tabitha Carr, and along with 3 amazing ladies of that show. So you definitely want to join them on social media. They're at theblendtalk.com. And so with me, as you know, I was born here on the East Coast, born and raised. And so it was nice to actually get out there on the West Coast and see how they lived out there in Cali. Now, Cali is famous for the nice looking women, but real talk, they don't have nothing on the women here in the ATL, right? But it was still good to get out there to actually get to mingle and to, make some good connections. So as I was doing some research for the Love and Relationship Experience, which is happening October 27th here in the ATL, October 28th in Charlotte, go to TRaynard.com for more details. But basically it said 90% of Americans get married. But the divorce rate is 45% after first marriages. And then after each subsequent marriage, then the percentage goes up even higher. So let me tell you something. Divorce ain't nothing nice. The person you marry is definitely not the person you divorce. And especially as a man, I mean, we get the short end of the stick. The courts are set up not for us, really, in my opinion, especially if you're wanting to get custody of your children. Unless she's like a crackhead or some type of bad mother, courts feel like, you know what, you should never take a child from their mom. So, for me, like I said, divorce is not something nice. And I remember the first couple of times that I dropped the kids off and they looked back at me, I felt like such a failure for not being able to keep my family together, right? Because they were accustomed to sharing every moment with dad. But now the way that it was, dad was having to drop y'all off and I'll see you, in 2 weeks. So, but anyway, it was a very interesting article. Definitely, for those who are getting into marriage, yeah, the odds are stacked up against you. But it's very important that you establish a solid foundation. So where does that solid foundation start? It starts with the first date. So coming up next, we're going to talk about the first date. Things that you should definitely do, but also things that you should not do, okay? So this is Conversations with TRaynard. We'll be right back. Guys, what's up? This is TRaynard with Conversations with TRaynard. So, how to make a slam dunk impression on the first date. Now, I am often asked, what should I wear on the first date? What should I go? Should the man plan, or as the woman, is it okay for me to plan? So I tell you what, we're going to address a number of these things for you. So let's start out by talking to the ladies, okay? One of the things that I think is very important is that you check out his social media page and see what's important to him. Okay, important things like his children, maybe his mom. Does he play golf? What college did he attend? What fraternity is he a part of? The reason why that's so important is because it gives you excellent talking points for the date. And see, understand that most people like to talk about what's important to them. So do your research and see what comes up on his page, okay? Also, find out where he works. And you can either see that on his social media page or just in general conversation leading up to that first date. So do some research on his company and his brand, right? That's something that's important because what we find is that men are very prideful about where they work and their jobs and their careers. And so you definitely want to do your research so that you can have an educated conversation with him about his job. If he has a podcast, like me, got a podcast, or he has a website, TRaynard.com, then what you want to do is before you go on a date, then do your research, right? Talk to him about, now notice I said talk to him. Don't argue with him about his podcast or his website, but talk to him about, some of the conversations that he's had. Now, one of the things that drives us crazy as men, we feel like women, y'all always trying to fix shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all always, well, you know what? The podcast was nice, but if you would have did your head a little bit this way, or if you would have, no. Now is not the time. We appreciate constructive criticism, but not before the first date. Okay? Now, ladies, what should you wear? Okay, is the question. What should you wear on the first date? Well, understand that it is always best to accentuate your best physical feature. All right. So ladies, understand that you should choose something that is not too revealing, but something that accentuates your best quality. So if you got killer legs, definitely a nice skirt that shows those legs, right? If, whatever body type of yours that you feel is your best, then wear something that accentuates that. But here's the thing though, real talk, just because they make it in your size, it doesn't mean you should wear it. Something nice and appropriate is nice for the occasion. Now, understand if you have beautiful feet, definitely wear a nice heel with open toes, okay? If your feet are jacked up, this is real talk, okay? Real talk. Wear some riding boots or some cowboy boots or some, all right? If your feet are jacked up, let that be a surprise for us later on after we've fallen in love with all the other great qualities. But if your feet are jacked up, it's cool. Everybody's not blessed with pretty feet, but don't expose that on the first date. But if you got some really nice feet, yeah, a nice heel accentuating that is nice. Definitely take care of your hair, your nails, or any type of waxing. Because as men, we notice when a woman has done those things and we truly, truly appreciate it. Now, I know what some of you are saying. You're saying, you know what? I do that anyway. That's a part of my bi-weekly ritual. Okay, that's cool. But when a man compliments you on the effort, don't say, oh, I always do this, blah, blah, blah. No, don't do that. Just say thank you and keep it moving. Now, understand, I know women desire to be courted. And in courtship, a man arrives at your door at the designated time. But on the first couple of dates, for safety reasons, meet him on time at the venue. Notice I said on time. This whole fashionably late stuff and, if he really interested in me, he'll wait and all of that. No. Okay. Don't have him meet you at your house. And I addressed this in the last show. Don't have your kids meeting him at the door. We don't need to meet your kids on the first date, right? Save that for something later on. Okay. But meet him at the venue and be respectful of his time and be on time. Ladies, look good, smell good, be on time, and greet him with a nice smile and a hug. Okay? Bring him a gift. I know what y'all saying. I can see everybody rolling their eyes. What you mean, bring a gift? He the man. He's supposed to bring me a gift. No. See, what we're talking about here is making good first impressions. You have to figure out a way to be unique. Because as men, we basically have our pick of the litter. Those of us who are, at least 6 feet tall. I'm 6'2", by the way. Those who have command of the King's English. Those of us who are gainfully employed. You have your pick of women. So therefore, you have to do something a little extra. So bring him a gift. I don't mean a big gift, just something small. So remember I said go to his social media and see what he's interested in? Well, if he's a golfer, it could be something as simple as bringing him the latest edition of Golf Weekly. If he smokes cigars, okay, a nice stogie is cool. Because see, what it shows us is that immediately you're not one of those women that is a taker, that you're also a giver as well. But it also shows that you're interested in what he's interested in. So definitely bring him a small gift. Okay, ladies, this is a big, big, big problem here. On this first date, do not use this as an opportunity to just show how amazingly smart you are. Okay? Now, let me be clear here. I'm not saying dumb yourself down. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? But understand that on the first date, conversation should be kept lightly. Okay? Just know that if it has gotten to this stage of the first date, that he's done his research, so he knows that you're more than just a pretty face. But it's not your time to just show off and, come across like you're some biophysicist or something, right? That you're so much smarter than everybody else, right? Just be cool. It's no need to, run down all of the degrees and the accomplishments you have and how you were vice president at this company, but then this other company wanted you. Because no. That's not the time for that. These types of things, these accomplishments that you're proud of, which are very important, they will come up later on in conversations, okay? But definitely not on the first date. If he takes you out to dinner and he pays for the meal, offer to pay the tip. See, ladies, understand that most men will decline that offer, but at the end of the day, we're very appreciative that, hey, you know what? Even though I'm taking her out, she's being considerate and she's offering to pay the tip. Okay? Again, more than likely he'll decline, but that gesture will be duly noted. How about this? If the first date is a day trip somewhere and you guys are driving, offer to pay for the gas. Again, just like the tip at the dinner, he more than likely will decline. But the effort is duly noted. See, understand that as men, we're so accustomed to feeling as if women are always looking for something from us. We're accustomed to there being a lot of gold diggers out here who are looking for men to pay their rent, pay this, pay that, okay? So what you want to do on the first date is you want to set the tone and say, you know what? I am not that type of woman. And I guarantee you that will allow you to stand out on the first date. So after the date was good, okay? This right here will definitely take you to an entirely different level. Okay? Follow the date up with a handwritten thank you card. Oh, a handwritten thank you card, right? Now, all the ladies in the studio right now, they rolling their eyes and doing their head like this. Okay, but look, I'm telling you, that goes a long way. See, and it's cool to say, thank you. It's cool in person. It's cool to send him a text after the date to say, hey, I had a great time. But if you want to take it to the next level, mail him a thank you card, handwritten, saying, thank you so much for the date. I enjoyed our conversation. Look forward to getting to know you better in the future. Ladies, that definitely will go a long way. So in order to get his address, obviously you have to ask him for his address. So he knows you're going to send him something, but I guarantee you he's not going to expect a handwritten thank you card. So ladies, hopefully you will find these words of wisdom very helpful. Stop rolling your eyes and just try it. Okay? TRaynard is here to help you. So coming up next, brothers, I'm going to help you out because some of y'all need a whole bunch of help. Ladies, don't go anywhere because later in the show, we're going to go over some big, definite no-nos on a date. This is Conversations with TRaynard. We'll be back in just a moment. What's up, guys? This is TRaynard with Conversations with TRaynard. So, ladies, that last segment, I definitely gave you some tips of how to make a great first impression on that first date. You know what they say? You never get a second chance to what? Make the first impression. So, fellas, I'm talking to you now, all right? Talking to you. You've seen this lady on social media, or maybe she's been on your job, and you know what? You kind of, you drank a little courage juice one day, right? So you had the courage to shoot your shot, all right? And she said yes, all right? And he like, damn, now what I do, right? See, understand that you have to catch a lady at the right moment, okay? She may be in a relationship, so if you ask, she'll tell you no. Or she may be right out of a relationship and she hate men right now, okay? So you have to catch her at the right time. So when you catch her at the right time, you shoot your shot and she says yes, then guess what? You really have to make a first impression, okay? Understand that if she's a beautiful, intellectual woman, she has a lot of men asking her out all the time. So you have to make sure that you stand out from the rest. So brothers, I'm definitely going to help you out with this, okay? The first thing you have to understand is that you have to be very meticulous in planning the date. Okay. The key word here, brothers, is plan. Women often say that we ask them out the day before. Okay. And then we ask them, so where you want to go? So it comes across as if we're not take charge kind of men. Single women today are so accustomed to making decisions on their jobs and also running their households. So they welcome the opportunity to sit back and enjoy your efforts. So brothers, plan your date no sooner than a week in advance. See, you never want a woman to think that you have nothing else going on in your life, right? So if she say, well, you want to go out tomorrow? You're like, okay. If she say, how about the next day? Okay, yeah, no. Don't be too eager. Plus, what you want to do is you want to plan this date. And so proper planning is going to take a little time. So plan your date no sooner than a week in advance. And again, if you come across too eager, some women may perceive that as you potentially may be a bugaboo and always try to monopolize her time. So you've taken your shot. She said yes. Be cool. All right. Now, this also works in your favor because it helps to build the excitement for the date. Okay. It builds the excitement. See, women love and they relish the opportunity to know that something special is going to go on 7 days from now. Okay, it kind of helps them get through their week. And so during this week between her saying yes and the actual date, it's very important that you maintain contact during this period of time leading up to the date. Now, guys, I know you're like me. Most of us, we are not phone talkers. Okay, so having to talk every day for 7 days just to get to the first date, you're like, man, that's overwhelming. But at least what you need to do on a daily basis is text her to say hello. And at the very least, call her to see how her day is going. Guys, understand that is something that goes a long way with women. So I know for me personally, again, because I'm not a phone talker, I would get anxiety with just the thought of having a 4-hour conversation on a Monday night, 20 minutes before the game. Come on, right? You just called her to say, hey, just checking on you, seeing how you doing. And she's like, oh my gosh, let me tell you what happened today. And you looking at the clock, you like, man, dog, the Falcons and the Steelers about to play. And man, I don't want to be rude. And she talking about a job and her mom and stuff, you know. So for us as men, it's not that we don't care. It's just the timing. Okay, right before the game, and just the fact that we aren't big phone talkers is something that can be overwhelming. So fellas, I'm gonna tell you what to do. So ladies, y'all stop listening for a second, okay? Are your ears covered? Fellas, what has worked for me in the past is to make that call during the business day. Chances are she's at work and she doesn't have long to talk anyway. And also it's totally acceptable after 10 minutes of conversation to say, hey, you know what? I hate to cut this conversation short, but I have to get back to work. Yeah, brothers. See, that doesn't come across like you're being rude. It doesn't come across like you don't want to listen. It's totally acceptable to have that 10-minute conversation during the business day, right? Because if you try to do that 5 minutes before the game come on, she's going to be like, oh, why you rushing? Oh, the game come before me? No. See, you don't want to have that before the first date. Because once you start dating, brothers, you can lay it down, lay the rules down. Don't be calling me on Sunday when you know the Falcons about to play, right? No, I don't want to take no walk in the park. No, I'm not trying to go to dinner. No, meet your mama. I saw your mama 2 months ago. No, the game on. But see, you can't do that right now, right? You got to wait. So for the first day, you call her during the business day and you check on her. You maintain that communication throughout the week. So as you begin to plan the date, fellas, understand that with women, it's not about how expensive the restaurant is or how expensive the activity is, but more so how much effort and creativity is involved. See, again, you're shooting your shot. She's beautiful. She's intelligent, right? So you need to find a way to make yourself stand out. So know that every guy does dinner or a movie. See, that's regular, right? You are shooting your shot. So it's very important that you plan something unique, but also something memorable. See, guys, understand that if you plan a very nice experience, she'll remember that forever, right? If you just take her to, Papa Do's and y'all had food, she may not remember that because she's been to Papa Do's a million times, okay? So you want to be creative in what you plan. My suggestion is that you do something like you purchase passes to one of her favorite plays, okay? Or you take her to the mountains so that she can see the changing of the leaves, okay? Or you take her to a candle making shop. Now, brothers, all right, I heard that. I heard the click of all of y'all clicking me off because you like, that's lame. I don't want to do that. What are you talking about? Brothers, I'm telling you, this will go a long way. If you shoot your shot, this goes a long way to making sure that you have more than just one day. Be creative. Do something. A candle making shop? What? See, guys, for those of you that don't know, you can take this lady to a shop and she, along with you, could make her own candle, right? She can put her own little different scents into the concoction and she can make her own candle. And at the end, she's able to take it home. Guys, creativity is the key. And here's the thing, even better, let's plan this first date on a Saturday or Sunday when you're normally watching ball. See, to her, it's going to be even more impressive that you put her before the game. So while you're out, don't be checking your phone to see what Auburn did or on Sunday what the Falcons did or what have you. Man, look, DVR it and you check it out when you get to the crib. But you let her know on that day it is all about her. I'm telling you, it's going to go a long way. I'll tell you something I once did that I only did it one time and I wasted it. But anyway, it was pretty smooth though, right? So what I did is I had a dance studio that was normally closed on a Saturday, and I paid for them to open it up just for me and my date to have a private salsa lesson. Yeah. Now, look, a brother was horrible with salsa, right? But that wasn't even the point. The point that was that I had the ability to open up a business that was shut down and to do a private lesson with just me and her. let me tell you something. That's something that went a long, long way. So guys, I've given you some great tips of how to plan that first date. When we come back, ladies and guys, I'm going to talk to you about some definite do not do's. Is that a word? Do not do's. Don't do's. We'll say it like that. Some definite don't do's after the first date. This is Conversations with TRaynard. I'll be right back. What's up, guys? This is TRaynard with Conversations with TRaynard. So, ladies, that last segment, I definitely gave you some tips of how to make a great first impression on that first date. You know what they say? You never get a second chance to what? Make the first impression. So, fellas, I'm talking to you now, all right? Talking to you. You've seen this lady on social media, or maybe she's been on your job, and you know what? You drank a little courage juice one day, right? So you had the courage to shoot your shot. All right. And she said yes. All right. And he like, damn, now what I do, right? See, understand that you have to catch a lady at the right moment. Okay. She may be in a relationship. So if you ask, she'll tell you no. Or she may be right out of a relationship and she hate men right now. Okay. So you have to catch her at the right time. So when you catch her at the right time, you shoot your shot and she says yes, then guess what? You really have to make a first impression, okay? Understand that if she's a beautiful, intellectual woman, she has a lot of men asking her out all the time. So you have to make sure that you stand out from the rest. So brothers, I'm definitely going to help you out with this, okay? The first thing you have to understand is that you have to be very meticulous in planning the date. Okay. The key word here, brothers, is plan. Women often say that we ask them out the day before. Okay. And then we ask them, so where you want to go? So it comes across as if we're not take charge kind of men. Single women today are so accustomed to making decisions on their jobs and also running their households. So they welcome the opportunity to sit back and enjoy your efforts. So brothers, plan your date no sooner than a week in advance. See, you never want a woman to think that you have nothing else going on in your life, right? So if she say, well, you want to go out tomorrow? You're like, okay. If she say, how about the next day? Okay, yeah, no. Don't be too eager. Plus, what you want to do is you want to plan this date. And so proper planning is going to take a little time. So plan your date no sooner than a week in advance. And again, if you come across too eager, some women may perceive that as you potentially may be a bugaboo and always try to monopolize her time. So you've taken your shot. She said yes. Be cool. All right. Now, this also works in your favor because it helps to build the excitement for the date. Okay. It builds the excitement. See, women love and they relish the opportunity to know that something special is going to go on 7 days from now. Okay. It kind of helps them get through their week. And so during this week between her saying yes and the actual date, it's very important that you maintain contact during this period of time leading up to the date. Now, guys, I know you're like me. Most of us, we are not phone talkers. Okay. So having to talk every day for 7 days just to get to the first date, you're like, man, that's overwhelming. But at least what you need to do on a daily basis is text her to say hello. And at the very least, call her to see how her day is going. Guys, understand that is something that goes a long way with women. So I know for me personally, again, because I'm not a phone talker, I would get anxiety with just the thought of having a 4-hour conversation on a Monday night, 20 minutes before the game. Come on, right? You just called her to say, hey, just checking on you, seeing how you doing. And she's like, oh my gosh, let me tell you what happened today. And you looking at the clock, you like, man, dog, the Falcons and the Steelers about to play. And man, I don't want to be rude. And she talking about a job and her mom and stuff, So for us as men, it's not that we don't care. It's just the timing. Okay, right before the game and just the fact that we aren't big phone talkers is something that can be overwhelming. So fellas, I'm going to tell you what to do. So ladies, y'all stop listening for a second, okay? Are your ears covered? Fellas, what has worked for me in the past is to make that call during the business day. Chances are she's at work and she doesn't have long to talk anyway. And also it's totally acceptable after 10 minutes of conversation to say, hey, you know what? I hate to cut this conversation short, but I have to get back to work. Yeah, brothers. See, that doesn't come across like you're being rude. It doesn't come across like you don't want to listen. It's totally acceptable to have that 10-minute conversation during the business day, right? Because if you try to do that 5 minutes before the game come on, she's going to be like, oh, why you rushing? Oh, the game come before me? No. See, you don't want to have that before the first date. Because once you start dating, brothers, you can lay it down, lay the rules down. Don't be calling me on Sunday when you know the Falcons about to play, right? No, I don't want to take no walk in the park. No, I'm not trying to go to dinner. No, meet your mama. I saw your mama 2 months ago. No, the game on. But see, you can't do that right now, right? You got to wait. So for the first day, you call her during the business day and you check on her. You maintain that communication throughout the week. So as you begin to plan the date, fellas, understand that with women, it's not about how expensive the restaurant is or how expensive the activity is, but more so how much effort and creativity is involved. See, again, you're shooting your shot. She's beautiful. She's intelligent, right? So you need to find a way to make yourself stand out. So know that every guy does dinner or a movie. See, that's regular. Right? You are shooting your shot. So it's very important that you plan something unique, but also something memorable. See, guys, understand that if you plan a very nice experience, she'll remember that forever, right? If you just take her to, Papa Do's and y'all had food, she may not remember that because she's been to Papa Do's a million times, okay? So you want to be creative in what you plan. My suggestion is that you do something like you purchase passes to one of her favorite plays, okay? Or you take her to the mountains so that she can see the changing of the leaves, okay? Or you take her to a candle making shop. Now, brothers, all right, I heard that. I heard the click of all of y'all clicking me off because you like, that's lame. I don't want to do that. What are you talking about? Brothers, I'm telling you. This will go a long way. If you shoot your shot, this goes a long way to making sure that you have more than just one day. Be creative. Do something. A candle making shop? What? See, guys, for those of you that don't know, you can take this lady to a shop and she, along with you, could make her own candle. Right? She can put her own little different scents into the concoction and she can make her own candle. And at the end, she's able to take it home. Guys, creativity is the key. And here's the thing, even better, let's plan this first date on a Saturday or Sunday when you're normally watching ball. See, to her, it's going to be even more impressive that you put her before the game. So while you're out, don't be checking your phone to see what Auburn did or on Sunday what the Falcons did or what have you. Man, look, DVR it and you check it out when you get to the crib. But you let her know on that day it is all about her. I'm telling you, it's going to go a long way. I'll tell you something I once did that I only did it one time and I wasted it. But anyway, it was pretty smooth though, right? So what I did is I had a dance studio that was normally closed on a Saturday, and I paid for them to open it up just for me and my date to have a private salsa lesson. Yeah. Now, look, a brother was horrible with salsa, right? But that wasn't even the point. The point that was that I had the ability to open up a business that was shut down and to do a private lesson with just me and her. Let me tell you something. That's something that went a long, long way. So guys, I've given you some great tips of how to plan that first date. When we come back, ladies and guys, I'm going to talk to you about some definite do not do's. Is that a word? Do not do's. Don't do's. We'll say it like that. Some definite don't do's after the first date. This is Conversations with TRaynard. I'll be right back. What's up, guys? This is TRaynard with Conversations with TRaynard. So, ladies, I've given you some excellent advice on what to do on the first date. Brothers, I've helped you out, right? Boy, I've helped you out of some things that you can do on the first date. So in a minute, we're going to talk about things not to do on the date, okay? But before we get into that, I mentioned earlier that we're having the Love and Relationships Weekend on October 27th, right here in the ATL, from 9 a.m. that morning till 12:30 at the Western Perimeter. We're having 2 workshops. First workshop is best-selling author, TV talk show host, naturopathic doctor, Dr. Tabitha Carr, who's talking to you about energy, weight loss, and hormones and how they affect your relationship. Okay? Then the second part is my part, where I'm talking about how to avoid the pitfalls of love and relationships in marriage. We're talking about how to get toxic people out of your life. And we're also talking about how do you get to the point where you're living your best life. So for all of those who register for the workshop and you are there in the place, then I am offering a free 30-minute coaching session one-on-one to help you with your relationship. That's right. What we'll do on that day is right there, we will schedule you for a 30-minute session for you and I to kind of talk about your relationship, and I can kind of talk to you from the male perspective. Because what a lot of women don't understand, that as men, we don't operate on love, we operate on respect. And women don't operate on respect as much as they operate on love. Okay. So in that coaching session, I'm going to help you jumpstart your relationship. So you definitely want to be at the workshop. Not only will you get that phenomenal information, but you will get the free coaching session from me, TRaynard. So let's talk about some do's and don'ts of the first date. Okay. So brothers, when I talk to you about, I said, let's not do restaurants or what have you. You can do a restaurant, but do not do a chain restaurant. Okay? Do not do a chain restaurant. Do not do Applebee's, one of those kind of restaurants. No, this is the first impression, right? If your money is tight, that's okay. There are a lot of other restaurants out here that roughly you can pay about the same price, okay, and just have a different experience for her, because you want her to say, wow, you know what? I've never even heard of this restaurant. Guys, Google is your best friend. Go to Google, or better yet, ask some of your female friends, what's a nice restaurant that I can take this special young lady to? Choose a restaurant that has a chef. Okay. Make sure the restaurant has a chef, and if possible, reserve a private dining area. Okay. Always, always, always make reservations. If it's a restaurant that does not accept reservations, brothers, it is a no-go. Okay? The first date, you don't want her waiting 3 hours to eat. Okay? You want a place where you've made some reservations, where you can come in and they can say, yes, your table is ready. Okay? That shows that you are a take charge type of man, and that's definitely a plus for you. Brothers, never go all out financially on the first date if you can't keep that up, okay? Remember that the cost is not what's most important, but it's the creativity. See, I remember back when I was in college, my girlfriend at the time, I didn't really have a whole lot of extra money to buy a Hallmark card. You turn on the back of the Hallmark card, well, you look at the front and you're like, wow, man, these are my words exactly. Yeah. And then you turn on the back and it's $6.99. You're like, oh, hell no, I can't do that. Right. So what I wound up doing is I made my own card and I gave it to her, and she was so impressed. She was like, wow, that was so creative. These are your own words. And you cut it out with construction paper and you drew little hearts on it. Oh my gosh, this is so nice. Right. She didn't know. Look, brother didn't have no extra money. I just happened to have some construction paper at the crib, right? But I was able to be creative with it. So if you're not in a financial position to go all out each and every time, because that's what she's going to expect if you start out that way. Women often say, don't start out one way and then change up on us. So if you're not in that position, remember, cost is not what's most important, it's creativity. Brothers, do not invite her back to your house. Even if she suggests it, say, nah, I'm good. I know, brothers. I know what you're saying, right? You're like, you know what? I've done all this creative stuff that you said. And, I didn't spend, she ordered from that side of the menu. So, if it says seasonal or market, price, you know what that means. No, brothers. No, be cool, right? See, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Okay? So be cool. Don't invite her back to your place afterwards. And even if she invites you, say, you know what? No, thank you. I appreciate it. See, again, what you're wanting to do is show her that you're different. You want to stand out from the rest of the brothers. Okay? And sometimes women will put that out there just to test you. So what you want to show is, you know what? Is that I have restraint. I'm not with you just because I'm trying to get some. No. I had a great time. Let's just end it this way. That's what you do, okay? All right, guys. Ladies, I'm talking to you right now. Whew. Do not invite other family members on your date. This is a true story, I promise. And I'm going to give you the short version. So I went out on a date with this girl. We met. And she was like, as soon as we sat down, she was like, I got something to tell you. So I was like, oh, Lord, what can she tell me? She's married or something, all right? Or you know how people say, we not together, but we living in the same house kind of thing, right? No. She said, well, I told my sister that I was meeting you. I'm like, okay. She was like, well, and she's kind of overprotective, and so she's going to be up here in 5 minutes. I'm like, up here for what? Well, she's never met you, and so she's just going to be up here. Lady, you are 47 and we in a public place. Why is your sister up here? So her sister comes up, introduces herself, and begins to talk to my date. Girl, I was just talking to Mary down the street, and her husband, he crazy, right? She caught him. They having like this whole side conversation. And I was like, excuse me, not trying to be rude, but we're on a date. So she's like, oh, okay. So she went and sat maybe 5 or 6 tables away. And she was just looking at us the whole time. And I'm like, are you serious? Do not invite family members on your date, okay? Ladies and brothers, do not bash previous relationships, okay? Understand it, and I tell people all the time that when you have failed after failed after failed relationship, there is one common denominator in every relationship. And what is that? It's you. Which means you played a part in it somehow, some way. Now, I'm not assigning blame, but what I'm saying is there's always 3 sides to a story. We've heard that before. Your side, the other person's side, and then the truth is right there in the middle. So don't use this as an opportunity to bash your last relationship, okay? Ladies, do not tell personal business about your last guy on this first date. Okay? Why? Because as men, we're saying, man, you know what? If she's telling me about his dirt, if something happens between me and her, I can't trust her. She will tell my business as well. So definitely, ladies, do not do that. Leave the past in the past, or leave it for your therapist, okay? This is something, ladies, that we really hate. So we understand that as you're getting to know us, as you're determining whether we're going to be exclusive or not, that you will date, okay? You will date other people, and that's fine, okay? But stop posting on social media every time you go out on a date with a guy, because we don't want to be with somebody that's with everybody. Now, I didn't say everybody. I said with everybody, okay? Because we like, dog, okay, she invited me to her house and I said no. But what about Joe? I'm sure she did the same thing. Or what about this next guy and that guy? Okay, as men, we want to feel like you're special, that you're just not with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. So therefore, Stop putting it up there on social media that you're dating everybody. If that's what you're doing, then just kind of do it without being on social media. Ladies, do not do this. If you go out on a date and you had an amazing time and everything was great, if you don't hear from him in a couple of days, don't go off. Oh my gosh. Men talk about that all the time. Understand that as men, sometimes we have one-track minds. If I know with me, when I'm really focused on hitting my goals, I kind of get tunnel vision because I don't want to get distracted. And so sometimes what happens is I tune the outside world out. Okay. So that may mean that it doesn't mean that I'm not thinking about you. It just means that maybe for a day or two, we won't talk. But ladies, y'all go crazy, right? If you don't hear from him in a couple days, oh, what kind of man is that? I hadn't heard from him and he probably with some other chick. And no, don't do all of that, right? It's okay to shoot him a text saying, hey, just checking on you, hope all is well. Or how did that presentation go that you've been working on for the last couple weeks? Don't text him and say, well, since I ain't heard from you, I was wondering if you were dead. What? No, chill out. Okay? Chill out. Don't do this. If I'm taking you to this nice restaurant with the chef, we're in private dining, your food looks amazing. And if you like me, I like taking pictures of my food, right? But don't be this chick. Don't be the chick that will take a picture of her food and then post something like hashtag Team Solo once again. No, you're not by yourself. I'm with you, right? You don't have to say, I'm here with my boo on the first date, whatever. I'm not saying all of that. Just take a picture of your food and say it was good. But don't pretend like you there by yourself. And when you put Team Solo once again, as men, we take that as okay. She's looking for attention. She's letting us know that she's free and that she's available. So don't do that. That is definitely a turn off. So I tell you what, I've given you some definite don't do's on the date. And let me end by this last one. Again, I don't need to meet your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your kids, your dog. Oh, that's one thing I didn't tell you, fellas. That's one thing I didn't tell you. So on your first date, if you know that she has a pet, not only do you give her a gift, but you bring a gift for the dog as well. What? Yeah. You should see the ladies who are here in the studio. They're like, oh my gosh. Absolutely. You bring a little gift for the dog. And brothers, it could be from the dollar store. But at the end of the day, it's just the fact that you not only thought of her with a nice memento, but that you brought a dog or cat or hamster or whatever, something as well. Let me tell you, that goes a long way. Boy, my brothers, I am helping y'all out. Don't say your boy TRaynard didn't look out for you. But hey, when we come back, we're going to wrap up. Conversations with TRaynard. We'll be right back. Hey guys, I tell you what, it has been amazing. This is TRaynard with Conversations with TRaynard. And so hopefully I've given you a lot of great tips of what to do and what not to do on the first date. I tell you guys, I speak to you about just things that I've personally been through, things that I've experienced, and I'm here to be open and transparent with you to help you navigate through your relationships, right? Now, I caught a lot of flack on the last show because I said, take her to Waffle House. Oh, man, y'all were killing me in my inbox with that. But at the end of the day, y'all, I was playing about Waffle House, but I was just saying, you know what? Find somebody who's not caught up into all the materialistic things, okay? At the end of the day, find someone who's truly interested in getting to know you. Because the way life is, you're going to have peaks and valleys throughout life. My favorite passage in the Bible is Ecclesiastes 3:1. And Ecclesiastes 3:1 talks about to everything there's a season, okay? And it talks about how in life we go through different seasons. And so in life, in relationships, you're going to go through different seasons. You're going to go through seasons where you love her or him a lot, and then seasons where you don't love them as much. You're going to go through seasons where money is going to be plentiful. But then maybe there'll be seasons where not as much. You're going to go through seasons where you have plenty of time with just you and your boo. Then there'll be a season where the kids are pulling at you. The job is pulling at you. Maybe having to take care of a parent is pulling at you. Okay. So again, my point is make sure you're with someone who's not caught up into the materialistic things. So I hope that you enjoyed this show. I mean, I really enjoyed it as well. The people in the studio heard them laughing, and somebody just shot me a bird, so I don't know what that's about. But at the end of the day, again, I'm here to be open, honest, and transparent, okay? Definitely follow me on social media. TRaynard. That's TRaynard. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, or you can go to my website, TRaynard.com. Definitely go to my site to purchase your tickets for the Love and Relationship Experience. The workshops are in the morning. I've talked about those. The experience that evening. Oh, let me tell you. We have a phenomenal musician by the name of Ben. He's a guitarist. He's going to play. We're going to have signature drinks for the Love and Relationship Experience. We're going to have great food, just like we did before, guys. Great food. But we're going to have an all-male panel. And our male panel is there to talk to you about relationships from the male perspective. See, we're going to have married men who are going to be up there. We're going to have single men who are up there. We're going to have black men. We're going to have white men. So we're going to make sure that you have the perspective of as many men as possible. And guys and ladies, it's going to be interactive. So you'll have the opportunity to answer questions, ask questions. You'll have the opportunity to engage in deep discussions on a particular topic, right? So definitely go to TRaynard.com and secure your spot today. Well, hey, I got to get out of here. I appreciate you joining me for Conversations with TRaynard. I tell you what, I hope that I've said something that will help you have a loving, lasting, sustainable relationship. This is TRaynard. I'm out of here. Peace.